My mum had found out I was gay by somebody else and went really quite mental about it and chucked me out. And I had a Diva magazine stashed in between my school books to hide that I was gay, with an advert for Albert Kennedy Trust. And I called that number because I didn't know where to go or what to do or who to talk to. And then I called the number and Amir was at the other end, and we chatted, and I was quite desperate to get out, and he was like, okay, well, come and meet me at Putney Bridge. And then I met him, and yeah, and then I ended up staying with him for about 7 months.
AKT is the national charity that helps the 24% of young people facing homelessness who identify as LGB or T. 77% of whom say their sexuality or gender identity is the principal cause of their homelessness.
I self-identified as trans at the age of 21, 22. And then it was like, I come from a Muslim background. It was very hard to say I'm trans to my family. So I spent a lot of my time trying to fight my identity and say hey, I'm not trans and stuff like that. But I was very expressive, masculine in my gender.
Before I actually got involved in AKT, I was in a relationship that was quite volatile. It wasn't working. We had a relationship breakdown. I lost kind of all sense of self. I was pretty much a shell of a person. I wouldn't really leave the house or anything like that.
AKT provides young people with safe homes, training and support. They also match them with mentors who've been identified as having the potential to change their lives.
For me, I think it's the ability to connect with someone, to be able to have that trust and to support someone who's going through some really difficult times.
AKT was set up in 1989 at the height of a very difficult time for the LGBT community as a whole.
It was a group of seven trustees originally, with the wonderful Kath Hall as a great cover to a local magazine that shows us all together, and her engagement with lesbians and gay men after the Clause 28 campaign was something quite remarkable, because it made us believe we could do something that at that time was quite radical, revolutionary. After all, placing a gay teenager who's supposedly vulnerable, and indeed was, with me, a single gay man, that flew in the face of what Clause 28 was all about.
This was the law to ensure that homosexuality was not promoted within schools or within literature, and as such, obviously, that led to barring of all sorts of works and all sorts of support in schools for LGBT people.
Clause 28 also led to many young people finding themselves in desperate need of help.
When AKT first called me to say that a young person wanted to be matched with me, I had a little bit of fear, because I kind of thought to myself, gosh, I don't know any 16-year-olds, and what could I do to help them?
It's us taking care of our own issues, our own problems. I think that's one of the things about lots of lesbian and gay, smaller volunteer-led, or instigated organisations, is that we are empowering ourselves and empowering young people and taking ourselves forward.
Over the last 30 years, the issues faced by young people helped by AKT have become more complex and challenging. Clause 28 was repealed in 2003, and now the threat of honour-based violence, forced marriage and chemsex figure prominently.
And so there's a shift in the balance between the genders. That has become more equal. The number of people coming to us from BAME backgrounds is now about 50%, which was certainly vastly lower at the time we began.
Although the help it gives and the issues it combats have changed, the impact AKT has on the lives of young people remains as strong.
You find this family who's got their door wide open.
The level of support has never wavered, it's never been doubted, and it's something to rely on.
It was the first time I felt I can be myself.